Welcome to another S&P 500 analysis. Today is December 18, 2022. In this video, we're going to analyze the ETF for the S&P 500, the SPY, and the ETF for the Nasdaq 100, the QQQ, and also the ETF for the Russell 2000 IWM. Going to take a look at some of the price level and the scenario for the coming week. So stay tuned. Now let's start off with the SPY. From this weekly chart, we could see that there was a attempt to break out of this long-term trend line from January of 2022 to the present. So we saw it was actually a fake breakout and came back in, and we see this humongous reversal candle, and this is a outside weekly bar candle. And zooming down to the daily chart, you see that came up here and got rejected. This is the day that the CPI came out, the CPI release. And then on Wednesday, the FOMC meeting, the rate announcement, we also saw price came back up to this trend line, also got rejected. Then on Thursday, we got a follow through, and it broke this area here. So now it came down on Friday and actually filled this gap. And drilling down to the 4-hour chart here, we have this composite volume profile between middle of August to the present here. And you see this is the composite point of control. That is the price level that have traded the most volume between this period. And it is near this 395.50 area. And here with the last week's price zone, the range, the upper range of the expected move between 407, 406 area, we noticed that the price actually went above that and then came back in. You see that faded and almost retraced the entire range. Remember last week we were talking about somewhere around 290 points, S&P points. So that is about 29 points for the SPY. And you could see that it almost got there to the lower range, and it ended up with somewhere around 27 points because the S&P 500 had a 270 plus point swing last week. And here's this week's upper range between 393 and 391.70, and the lower range is between 374.90 and 372. You can see that it is pricing in near this support area here. So now it's turned into resistance, and also pricing down here for the lower area into this support term resistance area as well. So we basically are looking at the price range of somewhere around 200 points as well for the S&P 500 for this week, or 20 points for the SPY. Here are the zone from this composite volume profile. You can see that it came up to this high volume node here. This high volume zone got rejected and pushed back down, and then it retraced back to this area here. And you see that right now it is sitting right at this edge of this balance area, the lower edge of this balance area. So for the coming week, I'll be watching to see will it be able to come up and retrace this balance area and get back above this low volume zone and into this point of control here, essentially taking out this upper range of the weekly expected move. And that would be the upside scenario. And for the downside is come to this low volume zone here and trace down to this balance area and into this lower range of the expected move between 375 and 372. And see would it be able to hold. And if it dips below that, then I'll be watching for this possible balance area as the next area for it to try to find balance, and that would be inside beneath the 370 level. And here are some of the level that I'll be keeping an eye on for for the bounce to get back into this balance area. I'll be looking at this 388.55. That is this edge here of this low volume zone here. And for the downside, be watching this 378.24, and that is the lower edge of this low volume zone, and basically the upper edge of this balance area. So if it dips below this 378.24, then I expect it to come down and retrace this balance area and into the lower range of the expected move. Looking at this weekly chart for the QQQ, the ETF for the Nasdaq 100, you can see that it came up to this trend line, also had a reversal outside bar weekly candle here. Let's go and zoom in to the daily chart and take a little bit more in-depth look. And as you can see on the daily chart, it came up to this trend line and then it retraced back down, but it did not fill this gap. So we're still looking for this gap fill here. And drilling down to the 4-hour chart, we noticed that the price actually came up and pushed just a tad above this upper range of the expected move between 295.50 and 293.40 last week. You see that also retraced back down near the lower range of the expected move between 270.60 and 268.50. And for the coming week, the upper range of the expected move is between 282.75 and 281.60. And for the lower range of the expected move will be between 266.90 and 264. Now, looking at this composite volume profile between the middle of August to the present, you can see that the price came up to this upper edge here last week and got a rejection and came back down, and you notice all these distribution here. And right now it is sitting right near this this zone here. So we're going to be watching, will the price be able to bounce back up and get back up to this point of control, this composite point of control near 282 area. So if we could get it back above this point of control, then that will come up to this upper range of the expected move and see would it be able to continue to push up and toward the 288.64 into this balance area. And that would be the upside scenario. And for the downside, we are looking for the possibility of moving down here to this high volume node here, this high volume node near the 269.54, and see would it get a bounce back up. If it doesn't get a bounce and continue to move down, then we'd be watching for this lower range of the expected move. And this is in confluence with this low volume zone here. So if it gets below this low volume zone, and that is basically getting below the lower range of the expected move, then keep an eye on this area here near the 260 level. Looking at this weekly chart of the IWM, the ETF for the Russell 2000, see on a weekly basis here, it also came up to this trend line and got a reversal candle, but it did not put a outside bar type of reversal candle like the SPY and also the QQQ. And on this daily chart for the IWM, see this trend line got penetrated a little bit on the upside and then reversed back in. And you can see right now it is trying to hold this level of support here near this 174. And drilling down to the 4-hour chart here, we see that the price actually came up to the upper range of the expected move between 186.30 and 185.40 of last week, and also retraced back down once it did a little bit of a fake out, a failed breakout move on this trend line here, and it came down almost near the lower range of the expected move between 170, 180, and 170. For the coming week, the upper range of the expected move is between 180 and 179. And the lower range of the expected move is between 169.70 and 168.30. Looking at the composite volume profile between August, middle of August to the present, we see last week the price actually came up to the upper edge of this low volume zone here before it rejected and retraced back down below this trend line. And also looking at the composite volume profile point of control, it is somewhere near the 182.40. So that's the price level that it had traded the most volume. So for the coming week, I'd be watching to see will the price come back into these balance area here, because we notice that the price actually plays back down from here down back to this lower edge of this balance area and then broke and then come in to this balance area. So right now it's sitting inside of this balance area. So for the upside, I'll be watching to see would it be able to get back above this 176.17 level and back into this balance area and try to work itself up to this upper range of the expected move between 180 and 179. Then see would it be able to get above that and work toward this 182.40 area. So that would be the upside scenario. For the downside is to see what continue to move down to the lower edge of this balance area. And if it breaks this balance area, dip below it, then look for this lower range of the expected move to get tagged. And that would be somewhere around this 170 and 168 area. And if it get into this balance area, dip below this 170 or 168, then watch for this balance area to get retraced. Those are the price scenario for the SPY, QQQ, and IWM. And be sure to visit my Substack page to get my weekly update on the FANG Plus stock. And also, don't forget to smash the thumbs up to help me promote this video. Thank you for watching and stay safe.